the Savaged Unfiltered Show, where we say what the hell everyone else is scared to say. Hosted by Michael Gardner. Raw, unapologetic, no filter, no bullshit. Savage.
Hey guys, welcome into the show. Welcome to Savaged Unfiltered. I'm your host, Michael Gardner, otherwise known as Savage. I'll take it on any plate you want to say, Savage or Michael. It doesn't matter. As long as you don't call me, a jerk. Hey, it's all good. As always, we got Jim, the old man. Welcome in, buddy.
Hello. Thanks, everybody. Good to
Yeah.
see you.
Yeah, good.
And you can call me anything. You can call me jerk, asshole.
No, that's him. He's got his nicknames too. But anyway, so old man, I know just the other day we were talking about, the owner of the Slutty Vegan restaurant,
Right.
basically, closing up shop temporarily, as the bankruptcy. And I like I said, I wish her the best. Is it a business move, you think, or because we kind of closed out with like mysterious, kind of closures at the end there?
I think it's a business move. I think
You think so?
She's doing this so her business survives. Yeah.
Yeah.
She may have overextended herself on some things. I don't know all the details, but anytime I hear somebody filing a Chapter 11 bankruptcy, for me, it's always been about survival and moving ahead.
Oh, sure. Yeah. And hopefully, like I said, the being on, part of the cast of the Real Housewives of Atlanta, that can help her out a little bit, so.
Yeah, that brings a face to the name, and it associates her to the business, and hopefully she can get some plugs in while she's doing that.
Hopefully, and hopefully the political scene won't affect her too much, because obviously, she is dealing with the Department of Revenue of Georgia. She's also dealing with the Small Business Administration. So,
I make a prediction, though. While she's on
What's the prediction?
That reality show. She's on that reality. She is going to have a bunch of burgers brought to that place to feed everybody. You watch.
You think so? I
feel it, man. It's
I hope so. I mean, God, I hope so. But anyway, guys, we're not going to talk about the Slutty Vegan today. But if you missed that episode, every time I say the Slutty Vegan, the old man like laughs on it. I mean, but
it cracks me up, man. It just cracks.
But it's I can't say it was, because Chapter 11 is not necessarily meaning that's it.
No.
The slate has been closed. No, it's looked as a temporary type of restraint on a business. That's all.
Right.
Yeah. So anyway, guys, we're going to be talking a little politics here, a little political stuff. I actually have a former federal intelligence analyst investigator. Yeah, that's a long fucking title. Long title. But no, I have a former federal analysis/investigator on, which also trained and has experience in fraud examination, counter-espionage, etc. She has worked for the US Army, the DOJ, the Department of Homeland Security. I mean, she's got a lot of titles under her belt.
Man.
I mean, good stuff. And I was actually trying to get her on a few weeks ago. We had some issues with stuff. Hey, it works, but hey, I'm glad we were able to have her on. She'll actually be more or less joining us through telephone. So anyway, guys, this is Cindy Denise Schappe. Did I pronounce that right, Cindy?
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
Okay. Yes.
So tell us a little bit about, how you got into the work of this on the federal level. I mean, no one just walks through the door and says, hey, I want to be a federal investigator.
Well, I started out as a probation officer and worked in mental health. So I saw all the Medicaid fraud going on the community mental health systems and then the school districts in the substance abuse facilities. The same stuff that's going on in Minnesota now was going on in Kansas City back in the 80s, and no one would do anything, and it was right in your face. So then I learned about the fraud examiners, the certified fraud examiners, so I started taking courses with them. And after being in criminal justice as a probation officer, I got my master's in criminal justice, and then got into the other issues, into the federal government, because I passed all the tests. Back then they tested you. Now they don't. They don't test you at all.
Yeah.
They verify your credentials at all. They don't verify anything.
I mean, obviously we see that. I mean, they'll let anybody pretty much in the federal government. I mean, you see with certain, officials there. And I agree with you, Cindy, that we should bring back that intensive amount of testing, just due to the nature of it. Yes, absolutely.
Well, the people they wanted hard couldn't pass it.
Exactly.
So and hired the cronies and people. And INS, USCIS, literally, this is true. I and another gentleman who also whistleblew, along with Julie, who also whistleblew on what we saw. Because we were told to give, even though we were told under Bush, even though the applicant is a suspected terrorist or criminal alien, they're to get a work card every 60 days. You prove and give them a work card. Even though you knew that we didn't have the proper databases to vet, every now and then you could find it in the file and you knew. Everyone got a work card.
Yeah. Now, I have a question here for you. The Department of Justice and Department of Homeland Security, did that come years and years after you initially have more or less made yourself in the...
INS was under DOJ till 9/11, then Bush made DHS and hid crooked INS under DHS. Took away their law enforcement authorities, because before then they were hooked up with Border Patrol. After that, they became customer service, USCIS. So whatever the customer wanted, the customer got.
You know what I like?
What's that?
Hearing her say this stuff.
It tells a work card. They got a work card. With the work card, Social Security assumed that they'd been vetted at INS, and with the work card, they then got a Social Security number. With both of those, they could get a driver's license. Then they could vote. Yeah, even though they're not an LPR, which can't vote either, a legal permanent resident or a U.S. citizen.
Right. But
now
illegals got work cards. Everybody got a work card.
Yeah, 1 second, Cindy.
Gets a Cadillac.
Yeah, my co-host here wanted to speak to you about this. This is the old man here. What were you saying?
Hi, Cindy. I just wanted to say I like hearing Cindy say this stuff, because everybody is under this conceived motion here that the corruption and all the the stuff we're seeing now is just happened. No, this goes way back. She's talking back in the Bush era. This corruption and this our government being messed up is not a current thing. This has been going on for decades. And if you listen to what Cindy's saying here, you're going to hear it. You're going to see, what that was going on back then. Yes, it was. So I appreciate you sharing that stuff with us, Cindy.
I saved all the documents from back then because I save everything.
I love hearing you say that. I'm a former quality control, quality assurance man. I retired from that industry. I love hearing that you save documentation. Yes, save it and put it in a safe spot.
Jeez. Now I want to basically put this out there, Cindy, because I like how you have, and if you guys head over to her X account at Moshi Mish, that's spelled MOSHYMISS at Moshi Mish. She has this pinned on the top of her account there long before long before Doge, which we'll actually put up here. Tibbs, please put that up there if you could put that up there. Okay. Now this here, folks, you're looking at this. This is an actual document, okay, that Cindy has received from the law enforcement counterintelligence, okay, which long before Doge came into the public eye, there were some people already on it for several years. Cindy was one of them. Those who know who Mr. Skulk was know, right? So tell us a little bit about that, Cindy, with Lawrence Skulk, if I pronounced the last name correctly.
He wrote that book, Counterintelligence and Law Enforcement, because the two go hand in hand. Because basically, you get the counterintelligence, so you have the theory, you develop it out with law enforcement, then you can get a warrant and arrest these fools and convict them. Before the intel people gather stuff, but they need the law enforcement people to go and hold them accountable. And that's where the problem was. And I could do both because I've been trained in both. Find the crime, investigate it, and then work with the cops to go get them.
Now,
Which is what the fraud examiners do.
Yeah. Now, in your personal opinion, I like how you brought that up. In your personal opinion, is that why, even with President Trump to this day, maybe with your expertise of dealing with this, why he's getting attacked on a political level regarding Doge?
Yeah, because they're gathering it, but they've got to go get law enforcement people that have the authority to investigate it and arrest them. If the prosecutors allow it. That was the problem in Kansas City. The DOJ prosecutors would not open cases on any of the fraud we found. It didn't matter how many things we gave to the FBI, what we had. I could have had, I won't say, what's her name, HC, in my hand with the gun, and they wouldn't have touched her.
Wow.
That's true. That's because in Kansas City, Tom Pendergast had owned the Kansas City, Missouri PD. He controlled it. He moved all his friends and relatives in, so they'd never investigate him or his illegal comrades doing criminal activity. And so in 46, I believe it was, the state of Missouri took over the Kansas City, Missouri PD to put it back in normal control, and they still control it. And Democrats there then took over the DOJ. Literally.
Now, these, I want you to go into some of these documents, if you can, that actually was uncovered in 1989, which there were several books written about, obviously we got into it a little bit with the Democratic corruption in Kansas City and your friend's murder. Talk about that a little bit, if you don't mind.
My friend Charles Thompson was the head of the Democratic Party there, and he knew that it was being taken over because the Clintons were in Arkansas and they were moving into Kansas City.
Okay.
The step fraud was so blatant, you wasn't going to see it. I tried to ignore it as long as I could. I'm like, I'm just passing through here. I'm not from here. And when I got hired into that job there, the guy that hired me was a former FBI agent that had quit the FBI to go work there, which I always thought I was odd, but you know how that goes. And so he said, I'm hiring you. You're qualified. You have experience, and you don't owe anybody any favors here, which is an odd thing to say to somebody.
Yeah.
Until you get in there, then you see. I did some dirt. I did some dirt. Now, I can't say nothing about your dirt because then you'll expose my dirt. And that's how it operates. And that's basically how the feds have been operating a while, too. They hire people fraudulently who know they're doing fraud to get hired. And then when they tell them to do something just totally heinous, they have to. They have to, or they'll snitch them out and fire them and take their retirement, saying, I didn't know they had a fake degree or resume.
Jeez.
They're the ones that counterfeited it for them.
Jeez. I mean,
managers took stuff out of people's personnel files, like mine was used 10 times to get people jobs.
Cindy, you are definitely, I mean, if you were still part of the federal government, if you were still part of the federal government to this day, you would be the left's worst enemy. I can tell you right now.
Yeah.
I was there in Kansas City. I was their worst enemy.
Now these 3 cases that you're going back to this that was actually uncovered in the late 80s, in 89, actually, folks. There's 3 cases. It regards LexisNexis. Is that how you say her last name? Nexis? Yeah, LexisNexis. Yeah. That was about the illegal terminations of 3 whistleblowers who were really the first person witness to some of the most serious criminal activities back then from those jobs. And they all reported what they knew to the FBI, only to be targeted for knowing too much. What did they know that the FBI did not like?
They had taken, the FBI, DOJ, cleared Daryl Mays, and they hired him as a probation officer. He's dead now, so I can say this about him, but I'm the one that snitched him out anyhow.
Okay. They didn't like that part, Cindy. Yeah.
Over and over and over again. He, A, was a crackhead.
Oh, my God.
Probation officer. B, his whole family was in prison.
Wait, hold on, Cindy. Hold on. Did he know the Bidens at all? Because you mentioned crackhead. I'm sure. Did he know?
I don't know if they were doing crack in the 80s and 90s, long before it was fashionable.
I had to put that in there because of the whole Hunter Biden. Yeah.
I guess because it's not fashionable for the elite. Before then, it was, lower middle class or the street people. But so it moved up the food chain. And
gotcha.
So, his whole family's in prison for drug dealing. Okay.
Wow.
Now, and he was doing drugs with our clients and taking their restitution money and buying drugs. He did not get fired on doing any of that, and he did it in front of all of us.
Jeez.
He would come back from the grand jury and snitch out to the managers what he'd heard in front of us. And that's why he kept his job. Why they cleared him with that background to be there, I can only speculate, as they wanted him to snitch out those people because they didn't really want to touch him. That's what I think. Because Chuck Thompson, before he got murdered, was going to testify in the grand jury on all those politicians and everything he knew.
Wow.
2 or 3 days before he was murdered, he told Pat Scherzer, Sheriff Quinn, Joe Willem, and Steininger, they were all gone.
Oh.
He wanted them gone because they were crooked as shit. They would take grant money. This is a racket Dodge don't know. That's what I do. They take grant money.
Well, you might want to speak to the president with this, because I'm sure he would love to know this type of information.
Yeah, I tried to, but no one will get me to him. 2 hours and he'd have it all. Now you can get them all. Here, I'll help. I already got their names.
I'm sure because of your intensive amount of work with the federal government, there should be some protections in line, obviously, as there should be. But I mean, I'm sure that the president would love to have this information, because I mean, you're talking about the fraud going back to the very, very beginning of this, regarding to even the president of the United States now, with some of the fraud that's being exposed through the federal government. I mean, and I wholeheartedly give them credit for that. With the credit morely to Elon Musk for exposing a lot of it last year in January, as well as towards the summer. But I mean, some of the stuff that you have seen firsthand, that would take down a lot of what you see now. And I want to talk about these other 2 separate cases that regarded Curtis Graham versus the Wyandotte County Community Corrections. That was out of Kansas City.
That was all 3 of us. They ran. First one out of the chute was Wanda Pilcher. Her case isn't in LexisNexis.
Okay.
Hers was the first one out of the chute. She got through. Then Curtis and Cynthia got through. Joe Johnson was supposed to join, but he didn't get his filed in time. and then me. They held me back for last because I was the one they were targeting so badly that they set me up and destroyed my whole background check.
Oh my God!
The feds did that.
Now, before you go into that further, was your clearances revoked too, as well, or no?
This is before I got clearances. I'm knowing the whole horrid story. It's a nightmare. It should be a movie of the week. The guy they put in charge of our office, he had been the warden of the Kansas Lansing prison, and he stole money. The DOJ indicted him. The state of Kansas paid the money back, so they dropped the indictment. So when he came into our office, what do you think he was doing? Stealing more money. He knew how to do it. Stealing it and splitting it between all the head honchos.
And this is the same DOJ through obviously Kansas City, Missouri, Kansas City, Kansas, right? That was actually owned by the Clinton Democrats.
They moved all their friends and relatives in. In my case, it came out, Judge Lamar, where the FBI kept saying, because they'd been told we didn't have any degrees, which was a labeling thing, because Curtis is black, Joe Johnson is black, Cynthia is a woman, and I'm Native American. Of course, we couldn't go to college. And they had taken our degrees out.
Wait, you said they're black? Is that what you said?
Yeah, black.
So they pulled the race car theory on it then?
Yeah, you got that. They can't possibly have got a master's at KU. That's impossible. Well, the manager had taken our degrees out. This is when I learned about the counterfeiting degrees, because for once in my life, I was speechless in court. Because I said, I knew they were dirty, but I didn't know they'd go that low. So when I say there ain't no place the Democrats won't go, and half the Republicans, people need to know, oh no, they'll go as low as you can imagine and lower than you can imagine.
Yeah.
Well, they've taken our degrees out. So when they came to inspect our files, we didn't have any degrees.
Oh, shit.
When EEO came in, they didn't come to us and say, they just said, well, you don't have cases. They didn't go, do you have degrees? Because they're not in there. Well, here's the originals.
Wow.
There they are. Yeah, nobody gave us the benefit of the doubt. Nobody, including DOJ. Nobody.
Wow.
So we get set up, fired on all this stuff, which they helped write up.
Yeah.
The first time they've done that either. And say this was true until we got, because they were telling us to drop our cases. We didn't have any cases. We're going, screw you.
Now, Cindy, before you go any further, I want to talk about this Tom Poundercast fellow here, okay? Because you go into him in depth. I want to get into him in a minute, but I got to get a quick break here, real quick, guys, before we go back to Cindy. Guys, this show is being brought to you by Scroll and Burn Coffee, guys. Pick up the Savage Grind Coffee Company, okay, and get yourself some Scroll and Burn coffee, okay? Head over to our main website at savageunfiltered, .com, and you will actually see the Fuel the Grit analogy of this amazing coffee. Pick it up today, guys. Unleash your inner savaged, okay, and be part of the Savage Army. Love it. Love it. So back to the show here, guys. I want to talk a little bit about this Tom Pendercast guy, which is known to be a Democratic mob boss. Okay. Talk about this, because this goes back to the Kansas City Police Department from the 1930s through the 40s, where the Democrats moved into controlling the DOJ as well as the KCMO.
They didn't control the DOJ then. When they lost control. My theory is that when they lost
control, that's your theory. Yeah. You have a theory about this, yes.
Watching what I saw in my courtroom, I'll tell you, watching this, I'm like, yeah, they took control over it, which is how come they can hire.
Well, they infiltrated the police department with their cronies and their political hacks that you have basically made that claim to ensure that none of their cronies or Jim would ever be investigated for their criminal activities.
They weren't. That's true.
They weren't at all? Well, just a little slap on the wrist, then, you're saying?
My grandfather was one of Pendergast's cronies. Yeah, violent, dangerous man, and he beat my grandmother to death.
Whoa.
And it got covered up.
That's crazy. Isn't this crazy? Like she's exposing all this, but yet alone, it's been tucked under the rug for years. Like what's been going on with all this?
A professor in the Kansas City, Missouri library, there's a series of podcasts that he has done on the corruption in Kansas City that has gone on so long. Everyone tolerates this nonsense because this is all they know. Like Pendergast, to get a job in the city or the county, you had to pay him a bribe. And if you didn't do it, you didn't get a job. That's kind of what turned in there, because there was bribery going on at ICE to get jobs. There was all sorts of racketeering.
Wow.
At INS, it was obvious because you got people that were not even graduated. This is true. There were 2 people that hadn't even graduated high school that were moved from GS7s to GS13 supervisors overnight. They had not gone to immigration officer training at Flexi. They had not done any of those things, literally overnight. So you're supposed to be a 7 for a year, then you'd be a 9 for a year, then an 11 for a year. And if you do good work, you get to move up. A 12 for a year, and then a 13. They went from 7s to 13s overnight. That happened continually in that office.
Wow.
And they hadn't even graduated high school. They were having a graduation party for them in the office. And Sutan said, "Oh, you finally got your bachelor's degree?" And they said, "No, we finally got our GEDs."
Wow.
You're supposed to be hard in the feds without a GED.
Yeah, 1 second, Cindy. No, I could have like 3 hours of conversations with this lovely woman here. But I mean, 1 second, Cindy. I mean, this is amazing how you experienced all this stuff, and yet alone, nothing, in my personal opinion, has never really been done over the years. Just more corruption, Tom, what do you think of all this, Tom?
It's just amazing to me because I've always known, but Cindy's talking about on a state level, correct? This corruption?
On federal level too.
Federal level. But see, people need to understand that that's how this corruption in the government is. It's not just federal. It goes down into the states. And like you said, Michael, it's amazing. She's shared all this stuff to everybody. She shared this out, and it just gets swept under the rug. Nobody wants to talk about the corruption. That's why, because everybody's corrupt. They're protecting themselves. They're protecting their cronies,
Well, like Cindy said, Tom, the Republicans and Democrats in Congress knew about this years ago. Exactly. But Cindy is one of the whistleblowers that told them, along with providing evidence, clear, solid evidence on how it was done and how to catch it. But back in 2006, Cindy, you basically had mentioned this too as well, because, she's been putting this out on social here and there a little bit, that 2 federal agents busted a diploma mill doing it through what some kind of issued fake, what was this fake stuff?
It was a fake diploma mill company. Frank Carroll.
Yeah, with the FBI and Vincent Roth.
The DHS OIG in Washington
Unbelievable. Unbelievable.
I mean, and some of the U.S. citizens some of the fraud that was blatant theft for U.S. citizens' property identities and fraud. And one of them wanted, what was it? If I seen that correctly, $5 million.
Yeah, it's outlandish.
That's crazy.
Your degree, and they don't vet it. OPM used to, but OPM under Clinton had its authorities removed and its federal budget. So all they do is write job announcements, and the agencies pay them for the job announcements on USA Jobs. And then they make, rate and rank and make a register, but they don't verify that the employees each agency hires comes from that register. So it's just a joke. They're not hiring from the registers of the people with the experience who have been partially vetted.
Well, what's that?
After the diploma mill investigation, the OPM was forced to verify that at least the degree the person's submitting comes from a accredited college, because those were just people with fake storefronts giving out degrees.
Yeah, 1 second, Cindy. Tom's got a question here. What were you saying, Tom?
It's just amazing to me the lack of vetting people. You know, they just don't. No, I just my mind. My mind is so blown. I just really can't put it into words. It's just amazing to me that we don't vet anybody. It just seems like we don't vet anybody. If it's whoever you know gets you get the job. You know, well, I know so and so. Hey, come on in. Well, I don't have this and I don't have that. No problem. We'll make it for you. You know, we'll take care of your HR folder. Come on in. Have a cup of coffee.
Literally.
Yeah.
Literally. That's true. Literally. That literally at ICE, managers would send out an email. You got a friend need a job? Have them send me a resume. It didn't even have to be theirs. Mine got used 10 times. They just changed the title at the top and put their name on it.
Now, you talk about ICE here. Let's talk about ICE and your personal opinion, okay, of having, witnessed and your expertise of seeing all this stuff over the years. Do you truly believe that the president, meaning President Trump, has the authority of deployment of ICE in cities to obtain law and order?
Yes, I do. That's one of their authorities, yeah.
Okay.
They would get those people. You have ICE HSI, which investigates, like the terrorist cases and all those. The ERO goes and gets them. Enforcement removal officers of ICE go and get those people that have violated the immigration laws. That's their authority. They have that right. That's what they're to do. Now, then you have the detention officers that held them in jail. Well, when we had holding facilities big enough. So they probably have them employed there. So they watch them till they can deport them. But yeah. But see, the problem was in past administrations, you can take them up to the cows come home. And if the administration told you to let them go, what are you going to do?
Yeah.
What are you going to do?
Exactly. I mean, you bring up past administrations. I mean, look at the Biden administration.
Yeah.
I mean, they're literally they're going underneath. They're going through investigations of possibly child trafficking to sponsor companioned minors. Get the words in there. Yeah, the minors coming across the border. I mean, Kristi Noem just this past week has testified under oath that the Biden regime was paying child traffickers to sponsor these minors for coming across the border. But
which isn't the only one. They just didn't have to hide it anymore.
But
it's gone on so long.
Yeah.
They could just be in your face.
Yeah, but is Mayorkas and Biden, are they in prison? Nope, they're not in prison right now,
no.
But they should be.
Yeah. Well, they might be now, but they haven't been for decades.
I don't believe that.
They haven't
I
been
don't believe
for
that.
decades.
No.
Yeah.
I don't believe we're ever going to see any arrests made because the corruption goes way too.
Yeah.
I mean, Trump is as Trump is, he can stand there and make all kinds of demands about arrests being made and people going to jail and that, but it's the people below him in the dark that are going to go, no. Clintons, nah, we don't care.
No, that's just the way it is, though. That's just the way it is.
I know, and I hate that.
They might, because of those Clinton Foundation whistleblowers that have their case in court. And the tax court, they got a case going on this.
I just want to see
because of that foundation, which was obvious, and which has been obvious with every grant that the people just totally ignored it because they didn't affect them. Here you have like Kansas City, Missouri School District got $1 billion a year.
Jesus.
In DSEG money for 10 years to break up the racism and all that stuff and the desegregation stuff. They didn't even have employees. City Hall employees had ghost jobs at the Kansas City, Missouri.
Well, listen to this as we kind of close up with you, Cindy, because I want you to hear this. I don't know if you've heard this, though, but this is actually the actual testimony of Kristi Noem under oath, claiming what she knows that she can emphasize to the general public. Check this video out, guys.
Accompanied alien children. were lost by the Biden administration, not tracked. We've located about 145,000 of them, and we've done that through the investigative work of our Homeland Security Investigations team. They are phenomenal at the work that they do, and they specialize in child trafficking, sex trafficking, and finding individuals that would perpetuate that harm against our children. The one thing that has been challenging is that under the Biden administration, the government paid sponsors in HHS in order to host these children. And those sponsors, many times, we found instances where they trafficked these children themselves. So under that administration, we not only had children that were in this country as a part of a program, the government was paying individuals that were knowingly.
Jeez, knowingly. They were knowingly. I mean, they knew this.
Yeah,
They need to be in
it.
jail. I'm sorry, Cindy. I talked over you. What did you say?
Okay, that's okay.
Go ahead, Cindy.
They've known it because I told them. We told them years and years and years ago. We told them. We wrote it up. We investigated. 2001, I wrote a report while at INS to the director of INS, which I kept the emails, on human trafficking, because I'd gone to a training on human trafficking and how we could maybe monitor it through the applications. They didn't even know he didn't even know what human trafficking was.
Oh my!
2001.
You're joking, Cindy. Are you joking, or were they serious that they didn't know what that was?
I'm serious.
Oh my God! Talk about intelligence on like a federal level. That's embarrassing.
They were appointee of Bush. They didn't know. They just put them in there. They don't know. They don't bring up people through the bottom and move up. People at the bottom, unless they are crooked, basically, or kiss ass, or pay a bribe, or look the other way, are never going to get.
I mean, what you're saying is like these are people that they could be taking out of like literally corporate boardrooms from a regular company.
Right. That's right.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's right.
That's who is running our government right now, Tom.
Who's been running your government since Bush Sr. and probably Reagan. That's who's been running them. They just put them in.
So as we close up here with you, Cindy, because I don't want to take too much of your time, but what would your personal opinion be for the Trump administration to tackle all of this? Because, I mean, he's doing a tremendous job, but what more could he be doing, in your personal opinion, ma'am?
He needs to go get some fraud examinators, not just some agents. Because the problem with fraud examination is agents are kind of type A and they like to go out and do stuff. Fraud examination is like, you're going to have to look through lines and lines and lines of data, which is what I did. Because I've got the patience to do it, because I started out an accounting major. To find what you need, and you have to have the training to know exactly what kind of accounts you need to be looking at. Which you're catching on now, but those things have been going on forever with all that fraud and those fake accounts. That's gone on forever. It's like, and now everyone's wondering how these congressmen have gotten all this money. When I went my first training in fraud examination was on Aldrich Ames. The reason he got busted is his mother got him a job at the CIA because he'd gone to Yale for 2 years and dropped out. And his dad had been in the CIA, so she went and got him a job. He was making $350,000. This is way back when he was running loose. And he was okay until he bought a $5 million house, which he couldn't afford. And
Jesus.
Then, where did he get the money? So when they've got more money than they're making, it's called network analysis, and they're just now noticing this.
Right.
Nick Shirley went after asking.
Ma'am, we have to get you connected with the president. I mean, some of your knowledge, your expertise, I mean, the stuff you've seen throughout your tenure of working for the federal government. I mean, this would be more than acceptable to the president. I mean, this is information that the government, needs to hear. And I'm very surprised that, that even you mentioned earlier in the program of the show here that you have reached out to them and yet alone they ignore it. Oh, I don't understand why. Why would they ignore this?
I don't know. I guess I can't. It's kind of like whistleblowing.
I get the protection level. Yeah, I get it. There's
it's the middle. The middle is always the problem.
Yeah, I've had other people similar to your, to your background there with, I had a gentleman by the name of Pedro Israel Orta. He's been, Mr. Orta has been fighting against the CIA and some of the he calls it the broken whistle, which will led him to write his book. And he dealt with Mayorkas, he dealt with Meadows, he dealt with a lot of those crooked cronies, like you call them, and they're crooked cronies.
Yeah.
And I get why you guys are put into that sector of that, that whole thing, that angle with whistleblowing, because it's the information that you guys have that can compromise things. And I get it. But again, with what you have, she could be the ultimate, I don't want to use the term tool, Tom, but she could be the ultimate resource in taking down some of these cronies up in Washington still.
Oh, you know it.
I mean, partner with Elon. I mean, get Elon back in Doge. I mean, I completely would say that to President Trump. Put Elon back in Doge. If not, he already is there, right? And there's some things that we don't, we don't know that, they kind of keep behind the scenes, obviously. But put him back in Doge and hire a woman like Cindy, okay? And bring her back in the federal department, because, I mean, you show that political muscle that Trump would love,
I agree.
Literally, I know this for a fact. If they brought me back in and just sit me out in some of them offices, half of them will resign or beg for mercy because they already know I know. I wrote 1,000 complaints that went right to their face on what I knew. 1,000, I put everything, what I knew. And I gave them to those fine Republican senators who did nothing with it. How much do I have to give you? They put it in writing for you.
And they don't do anything because they're just as corrupt.
That's right.
That's right. Well, Cindy, I want to say thank you for coming on the show. I'm so glad that we were able to have you on to share some of your stories, some of your experience, through the federal level. And if you guys want to, connect with Cindy, check her out on X at Moshi Miss, which all of her posting and some of the stuff that she shares can be found there, including that Varro Press through Kansas City there with the law enforcement counterintelligence through Lawrence B. Skulk that I put on the show here, which
he was in AFIO. There, I got put in AFIO.
Okay.
By him. It's the Association for Former Intelligence Officers. It's CIA, NSA, all those hotshots. And he put me in there. And then he was a former, I think he was deputy director of the CIA many years ago. So he's a clean guy, and he started a group writing intel stuff when he retired. And a guy connected with me who had been a DC cop that had investigated on a group chat on the internet. He connected with me out of the blue. He'd been one of the detectives that investigated Watergate. He was friends with Larry Salk, and contacted him, and I told them what I knew. And this is back in 2004, 5.
Okay.
And they go, this got to be investigated.
Yeah.
I said, well, I've been trying, but I'm in a big cement block house here, and they ain't let me out. Take the roof off, I'll climb over for you.
Well, Cindy, I want you to hear this before we depart here with you. I liked how Lawrence put this. Determined to change things for the better. With warm regards, Lawrence B. Skulk. And I put that at the end. That's a beautiful, beautiful part there, as he's basically, crediting you with the amount of dedication that you've shared with the federal government and some of your investigations and some of your analysis along the years with the fraud examinations and the counter-espionage. I mean, it goes on and on and on. But Cindy, thank you very much for calling in today, and please continue to be the political voice for America, because people like you and others, I mean, we got to get this stuff out. This fraud has to go bye-bye once and for all.
It has to get stopped quick. It's not that hard if you know how. I know how.
Wow.
So let me in, just stay on my way.
Well, continue, Cindy. I'm going to say this right here with you, but as we kind of close up, because we got to close up soon. I mean, folks, I could talk to this woman here for hours, but I mean, we only have so much on the show. But I want you to do something for me. Continue writing the emails, the letters to the Trump administration, to Kristi Noem, to Pam Bondi, to Kash Patel. I don't care how many letters you have to get up there. You got to write the letters and tell them that we have to have a meeting. I mean, seriously. I'm saying that with whole honesty here. Yeah, please.
Probably in a nuisance file, like I was with the DHS-OIG, which I busted them doing.
Oh.
In the nuisance, I busted it. And they said, well, you don't know how we work. Oh, yes, I do. I went to USDA-OIG training.
Oh, yeah, Tom, she is the left's worst enemy here. I mean, literally, they hate her.
Exactly.
But good stuff, Cindy. Thanks very much for calling in. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. Wow. I mean, I could talk to this woman for hours, literally. I mean, the information that she has, I mean, could be literally vital for the Republican Party that could take down some of the fraud. Seriously.
She could take some of the fraud out of the Republican Party down, too.
Yeah.
You know, I could listen to her for hours, man.
Oh, my God. Hours.
How do you spell that X thing? Is it M-O-S-H?
That's MOSHYMISS. That's her Twitter X account.
Okay.
And oh God, some of the information she puts out, she retweets. I mean, this woman's a patriotic warrior, literally.
You know, it just what's amazing to me is nobody's doing anything.
And that's what she says. They've been doing the same shit for 50, 60 some odd years. I mean, some of these cases that she talked about goes back to the 80s, the 70s.
Yeah, she mentioned Reagan.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And I mean, you know, she does often amplify the MAGA-aligned voices on X on the foreign influences that are trying to literally determine and undermine our policies through President Trump. Yep. She emphasizes that correctly. Why? And listen, I truly believe that there should be a meeting between President Trump and Cindy, without a doubt, with her expertise on the federal level. There should be. Now,
listen to what she has to say.
But I truly believe that it's some of his staff that just kind of like throws it out the window. Oh, the president doesn't have time for this. Well, do you know that? How do you know? Did the president tell you that? But
Michael, we don't know how much of stuff that he gets hit with. Those people get hit with that say, I know. You know, they need to vet them and vet her and say, hey, I think we need to listen to her.
Yeah. Yeah, we do. We got to listen to people like her. And I'm glad that I brought up Pedro Israel Orta, because he's a good friend of mine, of the show here, as well as, of other people. And, this is respect here by Pedro. Pedro says, Tucker called me. His team called me there from the Tucker Carlson show. Should I fly up there to a studio and do the show? This is coming from Pedro to me. I'm like, well, what do you need my permission for? I mean, he's like, well, you're a big political voice on podcasting. Yeah, should I do it? I said, well, go ahead, do it. If it's going to promote you in your book, because he's got the book, The Broken Whistle, that's out on Amazon. And he goes into the deep state of muck between the deep state and the CIA on what they did to him. And God, I wholeheartedly, for my listeners out there, including yours, Tom, get that book, The Broken Whistle by Pedro Israel Orta, because some of the stuff he goes into, similar to Cindy. I mean, if those two got together and literally were to tag team on the radical left, oh my God, Niagara Falls, it would come down like something fierce, literally. Yeah. Literally. Anyway, guys, as we close up, I do want to say thank you for those that have been sticking around for the course of these 7 years on Spotify. Appreciate it. Means a lot. As well as our new audience. Yes, folks, through some hoops and bounds, we were able to make it happen with Podbean. Thank you. Tibbs has fucking been, he called them this morning and found out the key issue.
There you go.
There was another account that was accidentally set up. We had to delete that because it was giving us the error messages because we were supposed to record this past Tuesday. Okay. And we actually have solved it, and we will be on the Podbean airwaves next Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern. That's right. Baby. So we do have now a lineup now for our, not only Spotify, but for our Podbean audience of the lineup too. So every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Eastern, you can catch us on Podbean. Okay. Just search Savaged or Savaged Unfiltered. Comes right up. Okay. The algorithms are very strong with our presence anywhere you go. Okay. And then every Thursday and Saturday, we have our regular Spotify lineup through the show. Okay. You can catch us on Spotify or anywhere you stream a podcast, as well as Fridays for our bonus series of Savage 10. Yeah. Okay. So a lot of good programming coming out. Of course, we have our merchandise. Our merchandise is actually going to be available this weekend. So you can catch savagearmy.com. If you've been paying attention to my social accounts, we've been leaking out some new merchandise and shirts, through the help of Michaela that's been generously modeling for us through the clothing. I basically ordered through the through the warehouse, some stuff that has came in early. I did like a 2-day rush order on it. So, just she can, put some on and, obviously Tibbs and everything.
And so everybody knows the reason he used her instead of me is because I wasn't available to model. So
where's that bird? Get that bird. There we go. Anyway, no, catch Savage Army. Like I said, launching this weekend, as well as the coffee through Savage Grind Coffee Company, which is actually on the website. If you go over to savageunfiltered.com, you can get that there, and all the information will be available there. So we got a lot of good stuff coming out. And then as well too, guys, please share some love to Tom here for the Old Man's Podcast.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Take a visit the Old Man's Podcast on Podbean.
That's right. Put it up there. Did you put it up? There it is. The Old Man's Podcast right there. Every Monday morning, 10 a.m. Eastern, 7 a.m. Oh, you're up very fucking early for this show. Yeah. Very early.
On Podbean. And then you can find us after we do the live show. You can find us on Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, all those places you can find us.
That's right, folks. Yeah. That's
and
right.
And then you can catch me with Mr. Michael Gardner Tuesday on the Savaged Unfiltered Show on Podbean.
Live on Podbean.
Yeah, baby.
But what I need you guys to do first, of the Savage Army listeners out there, okay? I need you to start your morning right, okay? And check out the Old Man's Podcast.
Yes.
Monday morning first at 7 a.m. Pacific, 10 a.m. Eastern. You're going to get some bad dad jokes. You're going to get some history lessons and maybe some interviews from time to time. And maybe Grammy stopping by and, making her appearance and hitting the old man for embarrassing her all the time.
We will guarantee you a good time to get you out the door feeling good about yourself and good about your life.
That's right. That's right. So I am Michael Gardner, also known as Savage, and this is the Old Man, Tom, okay, from the Old Man's Podcast, and we're gonna get the hell out of here, guys. Enjoy the rest of your week, and if you don't check us out this weekend for our Saturday program, I understand, no love loss, but have a great rest of your weekend, guys. Take it easy.
This had been a Truth Productions media episode. Thank you for listening.